And our big focus is on this terrorist attack that has taken place in Jammu and Kashmir in Pahalgam, in which tourists have been targeted. One tourist was killed while 6 others are injured. We are expecting that number to go up, but this took place in Pahalgam. There you can see visuals of a young lady who lost her husband. Now, security forces and medical teams have rushed to the area, and the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, who is in Saudi Arabia on a 2-day visit, has spoken to Home Minister Amit Shah on what's happened in Pahalgam and to visit the attack site and take suitable measures, is what sources have said. There's also a high-level meeting that is currently taking place in Delhi, after which the Home Minister is expected to leave for Pahalgam. Now, what took place is that gunshots were heard in a very popular tourist spot. This is the Upper Meadows, Baisarar Valley, an area that can only be approached by foot or on horseback, and terrorists were apparently camouflaged. And it is a targeted attack. After a long time, we've had tourists being targeted in Jammu and Kashmir. Well, let's just... We'll be going across to all our reporters. We're joined by Vishnu, Shom, Shiv, Arur and Nazir will join us from Pahalgam as well. But first, let's just listen in to what has been said. In fact, let's go across to Nazir first. Nazir, tell us what's happening there. Any clarity on the extent of this attack? For the moment, we do know one tourist has been killed.
Well, first, big news. Home Minister Amit Shah is reaching Srinagar this evening, and he will hold a security review meeting in Srinagar. Then we will know if he will be visiting Pahalgam tomorrow or not. But this evening, Home Minister Amit Shah is reaching Srinagar to review security here in the wake of this major terror attack on innocent tourists here at a place called Baisaran Valley here in Pahalgam. Injured were rushed to this hospital first, and Pahalgam hospital here, and they were given first aid here, and they have been rushed to the Srinagar. Home Minister has also spoken to Lieutenant Governor, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, to ensure that the injured gets best possible treatment. Chief Minister Umar Abdullah has deputed 2 ministers, Health Minister Sakina Yattu and Agriculture Minister Javed Dar, to ensure that these injured tourists get best possible treatment at Sher-e Kashmir Institute of Medical Science and SMH Medical College, Srinagar also. So here in the afternoon, there was a terror attack on innocent tourists. What I heard, I spoke to some of the tourists who had visited Baisaran this morning. They said there were around 50 tourists there. They were just so happy, enjoying the breathtaking beauty of Baisaran. And then once they reached back, they heard there was a terror attack, and they were so happy they were back. But clearly, 1 tourist has been killed, and 7 or at least 7 others are injured. Condition of 3 tourists injured is stated to be critical. This is what a senior officer told me. So hope they survive. This is also a chilling reminder when terrorists have struck here. They carried out this attack. Number one, attack has come on a day when U.S. Vice President is in India, Prime Minister is in Saudi Arabia, and remember, whenever there has been some high-profile visit, there was always an attempt by terrorists to carry out some such attack. On March 20, 2000, there was a major attack in Anantnag. Innocent Sikhs were killed, 35 Sikhs, when Bill Clinton was here. And today, when Vice President is here, American Vice President is here, innocent tourists have been targeted here in Pahalgam. And Pahalgam has been largely peaceful area, free from militancy. And I have to talk about larger militancy of the security situation. Not even 10 local militants are today, operating in the valley. If at all they are mostly Pakistani.
That's right. Nazir, we will come back to you for more. We're also joined by Aishwarya. And Aishwarya, we do know a high-level meeting was taking place or is taking place. And Amit Shah, the Home Minister, is shortly going to leave for Srinagar.
Well, that's right. The meeting is still underway as far as Home Minister Amit Shah is concerned. He had a telephonic conversation with the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Umar Abdullah, and the Lieutenant Governor was there with Home Minister Amit Shah through video conferencing. It is also a meeting that is taking place at his residence. We've been told the Home Secretary, IB Chief, is still at Home Minister Amit Shah's residence, where I am reporting from. And Home Minister Amit Shah had briefed Prime Minister about the entire situation. It is at around 7 p.m. that Home Minister Amit Shah will be leaving for Srinagar. Let me show you these visuals from Home Minister Amit Shah's residence over here, as we've been told that very soon there are more top security officials who will be also visiting Home Minister Amit Shah's residence just before he leaves for Srinagar. But a tweet that has come out from Home Minister Amit Shah, he clearly stated that he is anguished by the terror attack on tourists in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir. And his thoughts are with the family members of the deceased. Those involved in this drastic act of terror will not be spared, and the security forces will come down heavily on the perpetrators with the hardship consequences. He also mentioned about him briefing the Prime Minister, who is currently in Saudi Arabia, and he would be soon leaving. Tomorrow he would be there at the spot where this incident took place. But as Umar Abdullah mentioned, that this is a cowardly attack by the terrorist, and he would not like to go on the number of casualties that had taken place during this terror attack. But it is all the security agencies which is working in tandem to bring back the normalcy over there. But Home Minister Amit Shah, after briefing Prime Minister Narendra Modi, now would be leaving to Srinagar to chair a high-level meeting over there as well.
All right, Aishwarya, they're reporting from outside Home Minister Amit Shah's residence, where that meeting is underway. And Vishnu, as you know, Nazir was saying, it's this attack targeting tourists. This is something we've seen after a long time. I think last time was during the Amarnath Yatra in 2017, and this is taking place at a time when US Vice President J.D. Vance is here.
In fact, this is one of the two major routes to the Amarnath Yatra. That typically takes place in the month of June in most cases. And it's the longer route is Pahalgam, but it is a very, very popular route. It's about 35 to 40 kilometers longer. Be that as it may, you're absolutely right. Whenever there is an attack on tourists, and it's been a very long time since something like this has taken place, then we know that the terrorists involved in the valley and in other areas are upping their game. They are sending a message. The fact that you've got Amit Shah rushing now to Jammu and Kashmir is very, very critical. But I think it's also important to reflect on what the larger issue over here is, that there is every possibility that the number of those who've lost their lives may go up. Nazir Masoodi, our correspondent over there, confirming that at least 3 people are critically injured and that there are a few more who are injured. They are all in hospital right now. Remember, getting people with gunshot wounds to a hospital in order to save their lives it's that first hour, the golden hour as it's known, that is absolutely critical. One would only hope that these people were brought into that hospital as soon as possible. We don't know that detail as yet, but I think Omar Abdullah, the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister's tweet is fairly ominous in that sense. But just one more final point on the timing of it all. The Amarnath Yatra just a few months away, right? J.D. Vance, the US Vice President over here as well. And let's not forget about those rather extreme statements made by the Pakistan Army Chief just a couple of days back when he spoke about the two-nation theory. He spoke about how Hindus were very different. He attacked India at a time when people wondered why he needed to make those remarks in the first place.
All right, Vishnu, thanks so much for that. And let's go across to Shiv Arur as well. And Shiv, this video that we're showing, we can't even show the raw footage. It is so heart-rending. You can see people lying there. This woman, she's talking about her husband who has been shot. And it seems that these terrorists came camouflage and they just shot at these tourists. And there has been concern over infiltration and, terrorists waiting for an opportune moment. And right now, as Vishnu pointed out, it is, various circumstances, and also the summer when tourists are heading to the valley.
That's correct, Gargi. And Pahalgam, which I've visited a number of times, is a place where tourists, like the ones in these very disturbing videos, traumatized cries by them, would be sitting ducks. If you look at the details in the images, this looks like some place touristy, not very far from where they were probably staying, or near a restaurant in some kind of meadow. For terrorists to be able to access that area would also not be very difficult, because in places like Pahalgam, in Gulmarg, local businesses, local tourism businesses have ensured there isn't too much security, because there is an understanding that tourists are off limits. They cannot be targeted by militants and terrorists, and that has always been a kind of unspoken sort of pact and contract that has existed locally in these areas. That red line appears to have been crossed now, and it's going to have a devastating effect in what is supposed to be the busiest season as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. What I can also tell you is that with fading light, finding out where those terrorists are is going to be very, very difficult. There are multiple valleys there along the Lidda River that crosses through Pahalgam, where the terrorists could hide. If they are locals, they will be able to melt into many of the hinterland areas over there. I imagine, we don't have a confirmation obviously on this, but the Special Operations Group of the Jammu and Kashmir Police, the Rashtra Rifles and others are probably already on the job, conducting search and cordon operations in the hills and the forests around that area. But of course, we'll be getting those details only later. The immediate thing to look at right now is Amit Shah, who will be meeting with the Unified Command Chiefs, Chief Minister Omar Abdullah and others in Srinagar tonight, and presumably visit the site sometime tomorrow morning. The intent is to obviously to send out a message, given how much political capital, Gargi, that has been placed on safe Naya Kashmir.